Thailand, Malaysia and Indonesia, some of the worst affected by severe flooding in Southeast Asia. The combined death toll climbing past 40, with tens of thousands forced to leave their homes. Thailand has been hit hardest with 33 deaths reported across 7 southern provinces. Many killed in landslides or by electrocution as torrential rain left towns and villages underwater. Rescue teams are out in force with military helicopters deployed to airlift patients from flooded hospitals and deliver food and supplies. Authorities expect water levels to recede gradually, but more rain is still forecast in many areas in the coming days. CNA correspondent Saksith Saiyasombut takes a close look at the scale of this unprecedented disaster.
Since the weekend, people in the south have been dealing with the heaviest rainfall in 300 years, according to officials. Whole communities and even an entire city cut off due to flash floods and relief and rescue efforts hampered by it. The whole province of Songkhla has been declared a disaster zone, with other surrounding areas also affected by it. To understand the scale of this natural disaster, let's take a look at satellite images and data from Thai authorities that is publicly available online. Now, we have a map of southern Thailand here. The Gulf of Thailand is on this side, the Andaman Sea on that side, and the border to Malaysia is over here. And this graphical overlay shows the amount of rainfall that has fallen in the past 24 hours since Tuesday. The red splotch over here, that is over the city of Hat Yai, and that means that there has been about 90 to 150 millimeters of rain in the past 24 hours. However, over the weekend, that whole area was purple, and that means that there has been over 300 millimeters of rain. And of course, that all adds up. And this is what it looks like from above. All the blue areas here, especially over the city of Hat Yai, that's all underwater. Now, some of you may ask, why is the city so affected by this? First of all, the city is below sea level, and that means all the water is carving a path through the city towards this lake over here before it goes into the sea. All the canals and waterways, they're simply not built not enough to hold it. And secondly, it's next to a very high hill of 300 meters. Of course, when there's rainfall coming down here, it floods into the city as well. However, there's some slightly good news. There are reports from the ground that the water is receding in some areas there. But all those weather and climate factors don't absolve the government from criticism that they have been slow to respond to the floods, which is something that Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul is vigorously rejecting.
ไม่ได้ติดขัดครับทำงานกันอย่างเต็มที่ครับในช่วงที่มันเกิดเหตุใหม่ๆทุกคนต้องกระจายกำลังกระจายทรัพยากรกระจายกำลังพลลงไปช่วยเหลือชีวิตนะครับความปลอดภัยกับพี่น้องประชาชนเป็นลำดับแรกก่อนตอนนี้เมื่อเราทราบปัญหาหลายๆเรื่องแล้วเราถึงมาเร่งจัดตั้งกองบัญชาการนะครับทั้งส่วนหน้าส่วนสนับสนุน
There's also criticism taking aim at the lack of disaster mitigation, given that floods happen all across the country year in and year out. However, climate change not only makes these things more extreme, it also shifts the time of year when these things happen. Prime Minister Anutin has been in office since September, and disaster mitigation is one of those things he said that he would tackle. He has also pledged to hold snap elections sometime early next year, so there's not a lot of time left for the current government to do good on this promise. Saksith Saiyasombut, CNA Bangkok.
Flooding as well in neighbouring Malaysia, heavy rain sweeping through 8 states. At least one person has died and nearly 30,000 have been evacuated to temporary shelters. From what CNA senior correspondent Melissa Goh joins us live from Kuala Selangor. Melissa, which areas in Malaysia have been most seriously affected?
Now, almost all the states were hit by flood. It's just a matter of different intensity. The worst hit area are in the east coastal states of Kelantan, Terengganu, and also in the northern states of Kedah, Perlis, and Perak. Now, almost 10,000 families were evacuated to over some 200 temporary shelters nationwide this week. with one death recorded in the worst hit state of Kelantan after the car was washed away by rising flood waters. Now, one survived. Now, the meteorological department has warned that thunderstorms will continue till Friday for the northern and the east coastal states. The public should follow the weather alert closely and seek shelters early. Now, floods are an annual phenomenon here in Malaysia due to the monsoon season that brings heavy rainfalls. So for many families seeking shelters here in this school, they are used to it, they said. I spoke with a couple earlier, and their residential areas are located near the river that overflowed each time there's incessant rainfall. And when that happened, the husband's work is affected, children's studies too, not to mention the heavy losses having to replace everything downstairs, they said, year in and year out, sometimes twice a year. Now, let's have a listen.
Lepas tahun 2021 dulu, barang dekat bawah ni bila kita beli, ujung tahun banjir, habis tiap tahun kena tukar, topak, tiap tahun kena tukar.
Melissa, as you say, the forecast is for more rain at least until Friday. What measures are we seeing from Malaysian authorities?
Well, it's a multi-agency effort from the National Disaster Management to the Welfare Department, the Food Security Ministry. All hands are on deck to mitigate flood impact while ensuring smooth running of these temporary shelters here. Now, there's always plenty of food, plenty of water supply here at these temporary shelters to ensure cleanliness as well, to keep waterborne diseases at bay, cholera, leptospirosis, including dengue, as mosquitoes tend to breed easily during flood seasons. Now, the northeastern monsoon season usually lasts till March, so the public is told to watch out for the weather alert. Torrential downfall is expected to continue till Friday up north, bordering Thailand. Now, thousands of Malaysian tourists, they were reportedly stranded while on holiday in Hat Yai and Songkhla, and they managed to come home safely. Now, a low-pressure system is said to be building up north in the Straits of Malacca and is said to have intensified into a tropical storm, bringing possible more rain to the northern states.
Thanks. That's CNA senior correspondent Melissa Goldberg reporting live from Kuala Selangor. All over in Indonesia, at least 17 people have been reported dead and over 55 others injured after landslides and flash floods hit 7 regencies and cities in North Sumatra earlier this week. CNA's Chandni Vatvani with this report.
Extreme weather and torrential rain for more than 2 days resulted in floodwaters tearing through residential areas in North Sumatra, hitting houses and sweeping away vehicles. Authorities say the strong water currents also carried mud, uprooted trees, building debris and household waste, which intensified the destruction. In addition to the deaths and injuries reported, dozens of homes and infrastructure have also been damaged, and access to affected areas were cut off. Thousands of residents have been forced to evacuate as search and rescue efforts continue and authorities deploy heavy equipment to clear landslide debris blocking road access. The Regional Disaster Management Authority and a joint task force have set up evacuation camps to facilitate the distribution of food and shelter to affected residents. Officials are urging local governments and the public to increase preparedness for hydrometeorological disasters.
Sehubungan dengan adanya potensi cuaca ekstrim ini, BMKG menghimbau pemerintah daerah di wilayah terdampak untuk meningkatkan kesiapsiagaan terhadap potensi banjir, banjir pesisir atau rob, tanah longsor, hingga pohon tumbang akibat angin kencang. Nelayan dan pelaku transportasi laut diminta memperhatikan kondisi gelombang tinggi yang berpotensi mengganggu keselamatan pelayaran, terutama di wilayah Selat Malaka dan sekitarnya.
These factors could trigger moderate to heavy rainfall in other provinces as well, such as Aceh, West Sumatra and Riau, with some areas also bracing for strong winds. Chandni Vatvani, CNA, Jakarta.